Well, welcome to this episode of ISV Talks. I'm Carol Livingston with Dynamics Connections and your host of ISV Talks. And on this episode, I'm excited to have my friend Jeremy Prichard from TrinDocs. Welcome, Jeremy.
Hi, Carol. Thank you for having me today.
Of course. Yeah, it's great having you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been with the company.
Sure. I've been with the company for 3 years now. I'm the director of sales and marketing. So we wear a lot of different hats when you're a small company like we are. But every day is a new experience. There's exciting things going on. And I'm just very happy to be with you and part of the Microsoft community.
Great. So let's talk about TrinDocs. How did the company start and kind of tell us a little bit about the company history?
Sure. Well, our ownership, we're a family owned business of CPAs. And so going all the way back
Yay,
to
CPAs.
1996, yeah, our owners worked for KPMG, they worked for Dean
Okay.
Dorton, and then they decided, we want to have our own business. And so in 1996, they began selling Microsoft Dynamics products, Nav, GP, now Business Central. And over time, they saw that they were having to continually tailor those financial systems to different client needs, as
Oh,
you would expect. And so
yeah.
the product that we now call TrinDocs was born, and along about 2011, that product began to be in use. We've grown over time to the point where we're no longer a product, but we're actually our own unique business model, our own separate LLC. So we've been in the market for about 12 years now. Most of that has kind of been under the radar. So we've been growing, working with a small subset of partners, but now we're looking to kind of grow beyond that. And
Mhm.
we have 10 or 12 different partners, and we're looking to really deeper into the partner network, which is why I'm so excited to be talking with you.
Yeah, that's a typical story, right? Someone that has a practice of implementing ERPs, those create their own IP or ISV solutions, and then yeah,
Right.
you become a separate entity, and there you go. That's how it all starts. Yeah,
Yep.
and that's great too because you understand the partner channel because you guys have been with or grew out of a partner. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah.
We understand that the reputations that are at stake and the
Yeah.
relationships, and we begin from a position of do no harm, much like a surgeon would. And so that's kind of where we go from.
Awesome. So, give us a description of your products for Dynamics ERPs. What do you do, and how do you do that?
Okay. Well, I mentioned that our owners are CPAs. They keep their license current every year still. So we typically start in the accounts payable process, and that's kind of low hanging fruit for PO matching and eliminating all that manual data entry. So big ROI right there. But we actually help procure to pay. So whether it's on the front end, if you have
Okay.
requisitions that you're looking to automate, we can help even your non-ERP users
Mhm.
automate requisitions and create them, in GP or BC or whatever you're doing. But then accounts payable, of course. And then on the back end, we actually help with vendor payments too. But big picture, anytime you have a workflow that needs automation, or anytime you have a paper laden process that you want to go paperless, that's where we find ourselves. So there's
Yeah.
probably 40 different back office things we end up doing. But big picture for us is really AP automation is where we start.
Okay. So AP automation, procurement sounds like the whole procure to pay. Tell us a little bit about, are you listed on AppSource? You said Business Central, so I'm assuming you're in that.
We
Yeah.
sure are. And in fact, TrenDocs was the very first AP automation solution for Business Central on AppSource.
I did not know
So that's
that.
something, yeah, we're very proud of that. And
That's
we frequently hear people come to us and say, I was talking to one of your competitors, and I'm not going to name names, and they said they could integrate with Business Central, but we got in there and they just couldn't do it. They couldn't pull the GLs over. They couldn't do this. Well, that's unfortunate. But the good news is we can. We've migrated
yeah.
clients from Nav, we've migrated clients from GP, and we have lots of people up and using Business Central with TrinDocs today. So we're very proud of that.
Yeah, and if they're on Nav or GP, they can still use TurnDocs, and then when they're ready to
Yeah,
migrate to Business Central or the cloud, that you guys are
absolutely. From
ready.
our perspective, we're ready when they're ready. We
Mhm.
don't want to force them. We want them to run
Mm-hmm.
their business the way they want to run their business. And so
Yeah.
if clients are looking to maximize their ROI from their GP investment, we're very happy to help them do that. If they want to kind of take a baby step and they want to have their on-prem GP, but they want to have TrinDocs in the cloud, we can do that. Or if they're looking for a
Mm,
full cloud model and want to be hosted with Business Central, then we can do that too. So we offer both
okay.
on-prem and hosted solutions. And we
Mm,
typically try to really build partnerships and flow at the pace that our clients want to flow at. If they're happy with
mm-hmm.
GP, so are we. If they're looking for Business Central,
Yeah.
we can help them there too.
Yeah, I love that. I love that model where, you start with where they're at and then you can help them in the future too. So tell me a little bit about, are there other ERP products that you're compatible with?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we have integrations, everything from SAP to NetSuite to Sage Intacct, Acumatica. I mean,
Okay.
you name it, and we've pretty much done it. We've even done a couple of integrations for some homegrown financial systems. And so our
Oh,
systems are
really?
very, very configurable and flexible.
Yeah.
We
Huh.
haven't found anyone yet that we couldn't integrate with. And so that's
That's
another thing
awesome.
that really separates us from the market. But yeah, we're ERP agnostic. Whatever your financial system is, that's okay.
Great. How about specialties? Do you have any industries or verticals you work with primarily, or just are you
Sure.
horizontal? Tell us a little bit.
Well, we do have some verticals, and I'll talk
Okay.
about that. Of course, anyone who has bills to pay and wants to pay them more efficiently, we want to talk to you. We can help you. But
Much everyone.
specifically,
Yeah.
yeah, well, that's everyone, me included. But yeah, we work very closely with the material handling industry, whether
Oh,
it's
okay.
a forklift distributor or a warehouser, very vertical in that space.
Hmm.
We help a lot of hospitals, kind of nursing homes, a lot of multi-entity situations. Of
Okay.
course, SMB manufacturers, and then we tend to see a lot of different food and beverage restaurant type clients
Oh,
as well.
okay. Oh, that's interesting. That's kind of wide variety of industries you specialize in. So that's great.
Yeah,
I'm kind of curious if you could tell us a story about how have you helped a client or a customer, and how did you help them be successful and why?
sure. Well, the first thing I'll say is we probably have 20 different case studies on our website, TrinDocs.com.
Okay.
If people would want to look at them, and they're focused around different ERP systems and different clients and different industries. But one that stands out to me is from the Orlando Sanford International Airport. And this is a situation where the CFO of one of our clients left the company and took us with him. And so we see that
Oh,
quite often. But there's really no bigger compliment to be paid than someone who is leaving a position, going to a new position, and staking their
yeah.
reputation on those decisions to bring you with them. So in that situation, they had no requisition model, they had no AP automation model, and we were
Mm.
going to help them change from a situation where 75% of their processes were manual with no visibility, running off of Excel, to
Oh,
now they have super tight internal controls, audit trails that are crystal clear. We've really transformed their business.
wow. That's amazing. That's such a typical story, right? A new CFO or a new, IT person or controller comes with the company, and they typically have experience in working with other products, and so they bring what they know and they trust to their new organization. So that's an interesting story. Just kind of changing gears a little bit. So tell us a little bit about some of the new things that you're introducing to the add value and help customers.
Okay, sure. Well, we actually just launched TrinDocs version 6 this summer, and that was completely based upon end user client feedback. So we go
Okay.
out and
Yeah.
we talk to the clients, and we say, kind of the old Clint Eastwood, we want to hear the good, the bad, the ugly. And so they tell us, and we take their feedback
Mhm.
to heart. And this TrinDocs version 6, there's 20 plus different features that came directly from end user feedback. Some of the things that are in there that are really, really neat. We can do copy and paste coding. Of course, we do auto coding if you want us to, but we're pulling out of your vendor cards. But for non PO driven invoices, we can do copy and paste coding. So if you have the utility bill from last month, copy all that coding onto this month, change
Yeah.
the dollars, and you're good to go. We do floating fields, so freight, taxes, totals, all that common information that finds its way into uncommon places, we can grab that and capture that for you.
Hmm.
And then, of course, step level field requirements. If you want to make sure that the workflow doesn't proceed and these three things have to be checked off every time, we can do those kinds of things too.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like those internal controls are strengthened there by those kind of functions. So
Very
that's
much so.
awesome.
Very tight controls.
Yeah. So just looking out at the place and even just partners and customers you're talking to, what observations do you have from those partners and customers? Kind of any observations of what's going on?
Well, obviously, with the different announcements and news and the moving of the post, so to speak, for GP, there's a lot of conversations going around that. And a lot of people are very happy with GP, and we're very happy to help them. So they're not looking to move away from GP anytime soon, but their businesses are growing. They're trying to scale. They're trying to get rid of these inefficient processes. So we're very happy to help them. Obviously,
Okay.
with the cloud coming on, the other side of the coin is people can't wait to get to the cloud. That's what's new and exciting, and they want to live in that space. You would see, obviously, workflow automation to some degree with these new, Business Central, NetSuite. But what you find is that you have to be an ERP user to be a part of their workflow. Well, that's not real world. And so we still add a ton of value to even those SaaS ERP systems.
Awesome. So maybe talk about kind of what is the unique advantage of TrinDocs and why TrinDocs?
Sure. Well, our tagline is automation as unique as you. And we live that and breathe that in everything we do from the sales process. We are probably the least salesy salespeople you're going to find. We want to understand you. We want to build a relationship around you, and we want you to be
Right.
comfortable every step of the way. And that goes all the way through the implementation and the development to the handoff into support. And so one of the things that makes us unique is our size. It's kind of the whole David and Goliath thing.
Mm.
And we've heard lots
Yeah.
of people say, hey, I can take you live in one day with a new implementation. Well, we can take you live in a day too if you want to do that. The issue
Yeah.
is that everyone wants to have tailorization. How are you handling this? How are you handling variances? How are you
Right.
handling that? All these different things. And that's where we shine. The more messy, the better. So we're not a situation where you go and you grab a can of TrinDocs and you drop it onto your implementation. No, we want to tailor things from the ground up around your rules. So we're going to come with best practices, whether you're PO matching or not, and we're going to
Okay.
share with you what we've seen across our client base. But then we're going to say, okay, we know this gets us 70% of the way there, 80%, but what makes you unique? Now let's
Yeah.
roll your business rules into our
Yeah.
process. The flexibility to be able to do that, that is really what makes TrinDocs stand out, kind of in a David and Goliath way.
Yeah.
Goliath, he was beating everybody over the head with his strength and size. But David took him down because he was agile. He was able to fight the battle in a different
Mhm.
way. And that's exactly what
Yeah.
TrinDocs does.
Yeah, I know when I was a consultant, like you get these processes like, oh, well, if it's this situation, then it has to go to this department head or, and you have all different scenarios. So not it doesn't fit every situation when you just use a preset or pre-canned solution, right?
Right.
So sometimes you have to be flexible. It's just like you guys definitely are in tailoring
Yeah.
it, the solution.
That's really a huge
Yeah.
differentiator for us. Of course,
Okay. Yeah.
being owned by accountants, our entire staff is either
Yay.
an accountant or a coder. And then there's me,
Yeah.
we're kind of a small team, but that's another differentiator that helps us
Yeah.
build confidence that we've been on your side of the
Yeah.
table and we've done the job you're seeking to do. And there's a better way. Let us help you. And
Mhm.
so we kind of go from there.
Yeah, I love that. I love that it was built with accountants helping design that system. What have you seen in the last couple of years and then changes in the channel, like, kind of operational changes or, you know, dynamics, customers and partners? What have you seen?
Lots and lots of changes. Accounting as a profession, it hurts my heart to say it, but it's not growing. If you look at the accountants, that are graduating from college, those numbers are declining year over year, while at the same time, you have a lot of people that are kind of aging out and looking to retire. And
Yeah.
so what you have is a gap in the talent pool. Well, business needs haven't changed. The business isn't slowing down for that. In fact, it's speeding up, but you have
Yeah.
less people to do more work. And so the move to automation really just makes tons and tons of sense, whether it's avoiding backfill or it's avoiding, new hires as your business scales. TrinDocs is able to help people grow their business and scale efficiently, even in the
Yeah.
midst of kind of a difficult labor environment.
Mhm.
And in that same way, people want to work from wherever they want to work. They
Yeah.
don't want to work
It's
chained
true.
to a desk in an office
Mhm.
where they can't see the sun. They want to work from the park or from their home or from the beach on vacation. And so TrinDocs is able to let people work where they want to work with increased visibility, not with less tools, but with more
Yeah.
visibility to help them do their job.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you don't have to wait for the approvals, someone's on vacation or at a offsite meeting. You don't have to wait. You can get their approval without having to wait
Right.
until they're
E-
in the office. Yeah, and
Exactly.
and you kind of mentioned this trend, and I always think about this is that, with the last several years, it's been a more willingness to go to the cloud, that move to the cloud that's really seems to accelerate now. And, maybe they still have their systems that they know and love, but they want to now experiment or do something hybrid and have some of that cloud ability, to do things like AP automation in the
Sure.
cloud. So, that seems to be kind of what, I've seen in the space with AP automation. It seems like more people are willing to consider that as part of their enterprise system, right?
We've seen the same thing from a business end user perspective. Ironically enough, there are competitors that have kind of said, okay, we're only going to be in the cloud. And they've kind of abandoned that on prem user. Well, there are still a lot of on prem SMBs
Yeah.
out there. And so our position is we're going to meet you where you are. If you want to be on prem, we can help you there. If you want to move to the cloud in baby steps, we can help you. Or if you want to jump in the deep end with cloud hosted, we're happy to do that too.
Hmm. Yeah, I love that. I love that flexibility. And, the other thing is, I think you touched on this is that, with the changes in the dynamics in the accounting profession or even just new professionals joining companies and organizations, right? Their expectation is everything is intuitive, it's on an app, it's very, cloud-based, just few clicks, the fewer the clicks, the better.
Sure. And why not? I mean, our whole
Yeah.
lives are very fast, very self service. And so, why shouldn't their
Yeah.
job be that way too? And so, TrinDocs, obviously, with the apps that we have for your mobile phones, if you want to scan a receipt, it's just as easy as taking a picture with your phone.
Yeah.
And if you want to approve through emails, as long as you have a cell signal, you can work within TrinDocs, which means you have access to your GP or your Business Central data or whatever it might be.
Yeah, awesome. And so, just kind of in conclusion, what is the one trend you're seeing that's driving customers and partners to come talk to you?
I think I would say that the biggest trend I've seen is actually caused by Microsoft and saying, okay, we're finally going to put a date out there, and this time people believe it. So we'll see, if things change or not. But there's been
Yeah.
a lot of concern about, okay, what are we going to do with GP? And so from a partner perspective, there we've heard over and over again, hey, we were working with these partners and things have changed. Now they're only going to service cloud hosted models, but our client's not ready for that. Or, you know what? We're going to go ahead and make the leap. So we need somebody that can do that. But our partner doesn't have pre-built integrations yet. Do you? Well, sure, we do. We were the first AP automation solution on AppSource for Business Central. So
Right?
every day, all
Yeah.
day, we're doing what you're asking to do, whether it's Business
Yeah.
Central, whether it's GP. But that's been the big push is Microsoft's announcement about GP and how people are kind of handling that. And the good news for us is that, and the good news for users too, no matter how you want to handle that, TrinDocs is there to help you. We've got clients in both scenarios.
Great. Well, any other last thoughts, Jeremy?
I guess my last thought would be really two words, Carol, and those words are thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeremy, for the conversation about TrinDocs. And this is Jeremy's contact information here if you want to reach out to him. His phone number, his email, and if you want to check out TrinDocs online and some of those great testimonials, by the way, you can go to trindocs.com and check that out. So thank you again, Jeremy.
Thank you, Carol, for having me. It was a real pleasure talking with you. And we're so excited to be a part of Dynamics Connections. And we've already met so many great new partners and with a lot of good things in the works. And I know that that is only going to grow over time as word gets out about TrinDocs. We've been under the radar, but no more. So we look forward to working with you soon.
Yes, so thank you, Jeremy. And thank you, friends, for joining today on our episode of ISV Talks. And I'll see you again on the next episode of ISV Talks. Bye bye.